Does he have it? Oh, look at Thompson! Haven't got it!
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run. Outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start dropping. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's gonna do it! Big Barry!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 18 of the Simability Racing League SK Super Series. We are almost done with season number 1 here in 2023, and Thompson Speedway is going to be one big deciding factor. Don Koneman currently squeaking out almost a 30-point lead over top of Tom Johnson at the moment. So Tom Johnson looking to have a great finish and looking to see if Don can have a few issues, because that's what he's going to need to be able to take the points challenge here. Not quite 30 points, 23 points over top of Tom Johnson is Don Koneman. 10 drivers here tonight, 3 races left to go, so 30 points if we keep getting 10 cars here up for grabs. Johnson's going to need to win a couple races here in order to take over Don Koneman. Chris Roberge is right there behind Tom Johnson. Johnson also has to have good finishes because Roberge has been a little spotty throughout the season, finishing up towards the front and then also being taken over by Travis Zudema quite a few times for second. And there you see Travis Zudema up at 148. So still a little bit of a chance for Zudema to get up a little higher, but I don't believe he's going to get into the top 3. He's going to have to settle for 4th position. Andrew Smith currently in the hottest battle for 5th position with Billy Wise and Steven Kiefer, along with Thomas Wise, who's back there with 98 points. So all of those drivers very, very close together, looking to see what those guys can do. In the last 3 races, we have Thompson Motor Speedway. We then go down to Lakeland, and then we're actually going to jump back a little further in the season to where Southern National was, because Southern National got postponed due to myself and quite a few drivers not being able to come off. So we are here at Thompson. Next week we go to USA, and our season finale for season 1 of the SK Super Series is going to be held at Southern National, which is a very short track, very high banking, awesome action track to finish out the season. It couldn't have worked out more perfectly. As for tonight, we are doing 100 laps here around Thompson. Currently out top, or out front, is Don Koneman. Andrew Smith currently 2nd on the speed chart, and Chris Roberge currently 3rd, not too far behind Smith, 1/100th of a second for Chris Roberge. So keep an eye out for that 98 machine. What paint scheme does he got on today? Looks like he's sticking with his monster paint scheme at the moment. I'm sure we're going to see some great qualifying pace out of him when we all get to qualifying and get the track back cooled down just a little bit, give you some more grip, give you a little bit of pace at qualifying. But Robert's doing a pretty decent job. Tom Johnson in a pretty decent spot at the moment, currently 4th quick. We always know he's a little bit slower in practice than he is in the race. So if this is any indication, like it usually was, Tom Johnson is in for a good run today, as we see him running there behind Brian Lowhead and Don Koneman, our quick time guy at the moment, current points leader at the moment in that 97 Swagger in Mobile. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in practice, and then we will go qualifying 2 laps around Thompson Speedway, clocking in just below mid-19s. Possibly going to be a somewhat long race tonight, but if they can keep these green flag runs going the way they have, it should go by fairly quickly. These drivers doing a great job running together. Steven Kiefer here with us tonight in the number 22 machine. Kiefer in a crucial battle there for 5th position, so looking to get a good finish tonight for that number 22. Looks like he's running the high side here at Thompson. And of course, we saw him out front. Let's take a ride with Brian Lowhead. He's doing a pretty decent job holding these drivers off. Yeah, looks like he's pulling it in. Possibly getting some tires or something. He just stopped in the middle of the track, so I wonder if he might be having motor troubles. Don Koneman gonna do some playing with Tom Johnson now, right on his bumper. So just under a minute left to go in practice, as you see the 2 drivers running 1st and 2nd in our points championship out there practicing together. We just want to take a quick mention of one of our drivers in the league. His father recently passed away, so Daniel, we've been thinking about you. Wish you were here, but spend that time with your family, and we're all thinking about you, bud. So hopefully we see you back here on the racetrack very, very soon in that number 11 machine. He's been having some tough luck this season, so thinking about you, and hopefully you can join us for the late model stock championship coming up for the second half of 2023 here. You do not want to miss these awesome cars and these awesome drivers behind the wheel. It is going to be a sight to see, and as we say that and as we look on, that is going to be the end of practice, and these drivers are going to get ready to take their 2-lap qualifying run. And the qualifying time has begun, so let's take a ride with Don Koneman, as we always do. Our points leader at the moment. We'll take a ride with him and check out this qualifying lap. Ooh, and he gets a little bit loose coming out of turn 4. First lap time is going to be Don Koneman up top with a 19.35, and he gets into the wall on his second lap. Stephen Kiefer currently up in second. And Tom Johnson's got himself up into third. Koneman able to complete his lap, but it's definitely not going to count for him. Hopefully a 19.35 does him well. 5 drivers have hit the track, 5 more left to qualify. Looks like Johnny Berardi ended his qualifying run soon, and Chris Roberge about to come onto the racetrack. Let's see what that number 98 machine can do. Trying to warm up them tires before a quick 2 laps. Can he knock down Don Koneman, who did not get his fast lap in? Very, very loose car. He could snag the pole right here as he comes out of turn 4. Green flag is in the air for that number 98 machine. Gets a little loose out of 4. Can he get his second lap in? Then a 19.86. That's only 5th quick for that 98. And he loses it coming out of 2. I don't think he's going to have anything for Koneman at the moment. And there you see him slowing down, so that is definitely not going to do anything for him. And as we see this, let's go and check out our national anthem. Thank you, Billy Wise, for that awesome rendition. And now it is time. The field is set. We are going to go racing for round number 18. Don Koneman takes the pole with a 19.351. Stephen Kiefer takes the outside pole in that 22 machine. Tom Johnson going to be starting inside row number 2 with Thomas Wise qualifying up into P4 in that number 3 hippie machine. Chris Robert is going to start inside row number 3 in that 98 monster powered machine with Billy Wise and his Action Sports Foundation number 32 starting in 6th. Travis Zudema is going to roll off 7th with Brian Lowhead to his outside, and Andrew Smith, second quick in practice, going to be starting inside row number 5 with Johnny Berardi in that number 99 machine starting to his outside. 10 cars, 100 laps. We're ready to do it here at Thompson. As we know, the first is always on green, and every restart is on the leader after the pace car is off the track. And this is going to be your white flag wave lap, so give them a wave, folks. Let them know you're here. And let's go racing. Steven Kiefer not quite used to that outside spot, but this being a big racetrack, it could lead to some awesome racing. The outside line has proven to be fairly quick here if you could pinch that inside driver off, because they tend to get a little bit loose. Can Kiefer hold on to Don? But the 23 of Tom Johnson is going to start right there on the inside, giving him possibly an advantage going into turn 1 and 2, as you see the 23 and the 22 side by side. Oh, and it looks like we got a spinner. Chris Robert's spun down in turn number 2. He's in the grass, no caution. Oh, no, caution flag is out on the speedway. So quick caution. Let's see what happened there to bring it out. Looks like he just tried to stay off the other cars, and there it was. Cold tires, spun sideways, and I guess that was enough to cause a caution. We are under yellow for the first time here in Thompson. Well, Steven Kiefer's going to get to repay Tom Johnson the favor, as he is now in 3rd position. Thomas Wise still where he started. Billy Wise got up a spot, and Travis Zudema got up a spot with that spin. It looks like Lohead and Andrew Smith didn't have much of a problem. They're still where they're at, but Johnny Berardi has got himself up a couple spots from where he started already. So the back of the pack once again proving to be extremely competitive, as well as the front. It's almost like we've got like 2 packs of racing. We've got guys in like 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. They're all kind of racing together, and the guys up there in the top 3 are kind of racing together. And every once in a while, them guys in the back, they challenge the top 3, which makes it very, very interesting. The skill level in this league is going up immensely, and it's so awesome to watch all these drivers grow with each other, and they are always looking for new drivers to come out and come racing on Wednesday nights. So make sure you check out Simability.com. You see all that Glenn has to offer. He's done some amazing things for the sim racing world and for this racing league and community here. We also got to give a big shout out there to the number 32, Billy Wise, for running this league, and he's done it for quite a long time, and it goes very, very smoothly every single season. So Billy Wise, big shout out to you. But we're about to go racing one more time. 5 laps will be complete once we cross the stripe. 95 more laps to go, and this time Don Koneman gets to go once the pace car comes in. And he goes right away, leaving Tom Johnson there just a little bit. Billy Wise squeaking his way through. Now Johnny Berardi battling with Travis Zudema as Kiefer tries to take 3rd place from Billy Wise. Koneman gets out front. Johnson there in 2nd. Starting to put a little gap on these guys. And we see Johnny Berardi sideways and backwards in turn number 3, and he crashes into the pit wall. Not sure. Oh, he's trying to get it fired up. He gets it fired up, and here comes the field around him. He's going to stay in the grass, and we're going to stay all green. Robert's now at the back of the field after his initial spin. He's currently trying to get around Andrew Smith. Up front, Don Koneman has gotten a little bit of a distance over the field, but not a lot of distance over top of Tom Johnson in that 23 machine. And as we predicted, that 23 is fairly quick tonight. Travis Zunema now battling for third place, up 3 spots from where he started, as well as Billy Wise is. Currently seeing the battle for most positions gained and the crucial third place spot that everybody wants to make by the end of the race. And Zunema goes way high in 3 and 4. That's going to allow Billy Wise to create a little bit of a gap over top of them. Not sure what happened with Zunema, but he's going to have to regain and compose himself and go back for Billy Wise one more time. And it looks like he's going to get to his bumper fairly quickly. Oh, and he gets a little bit loose out of turn 2. Great job and great recovery, Cole. Doing everything he can to try to get by that 32 machine. Billy Wise doing a great job staying out in front. That 90 machine gonna have to use up some tires if he wants to get up to him. And this is a fairly big racetrack with some wide, fast corners. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some drivers get some tires halfway or maybe 3/4 of the way through this race. It didn't look super slick, very cold, so it could be something that helps you out as we see Zunema trying to make a move to the inside of Billy Wise. Looks like the middle of that racetrack there is actually the preferred line. Zunema can just get up. He would be able to possibly take Billy Wise on the outside. We know that 90 machine likes to run the outside. But Billy Wise doing a great job of defending there. A little bit further back in the pack, Andrew Smith trying to move up another spot. He's working on keeper, but he gets into the wall coming out of turn 4. That's definitely not going to help the handling of his car. And this is open setup, so as you see, some of these drivers are bottoming out going through the corners. They've got these cars set up to run really, really good around here. And every once in a while, they're a little bit low, so you get some sparks. That's the beauty about nighttime short track racing, is you get all the lights and colors from the different stuff going on. Billy Wise still under fire from Travis Zunema. And Don Koneman now got a decent 1 second gap over top of Tom Johnson. And Chris Robert's still trying to make his way up through the field. Oh, and Kiefer sideways in front of him. Caution flag, lap number 20. And something happened with Steven Kiefer. And some of these drivers just didn't know where to go. Looks like he got some help from Andrew Smith and just right in front of Thomas Wise. That is going to be caution number 2, lap number 20. And Chris Robert's now still sitting in 6th. After that whole fiasco now. Don Koneman He's going to have to let the field catch back up to him. Looks like Roberge is actually coming into the pits, along with Brian Lowhead, who got into a little bit of trouble during that whole charade. So a couple drivers coming down. We'll see if that makes a difference in tires. I know we're only 20 laps in, but 20 laps is 20 laps. We'll get all these drivers lined back up. Johnny Berardi looks like he's getting a lap back there. Definitely like to make sure that if we can, everybody stays on the lead lap, and it looks like Koneman's trying to disappear into the pace car. Not sure exactly what he's doing, but he is being goofy, leading the race here in iRacing. As you see, the iRacing.com pace car gonna be turning his lights off, and we're gonna get him 2 by 2 and ready to go for you. Koneman gonna be on the throttle as soon as that pace car is off. I'm sure Tom Johnson there up in second, Billy Wise in third, and Travis Zudima's got his number 90 machine up to fourth. Don leaving plenty of room for the pace car so that he has room to take off. And he's on the loud pedal. Green flag's back in the air. And now there's a stack up for third. As now Zudima on the outside of Billy Wise. He gets into the wall! And he's going to whoa way up. He's going to go all the way to the back of the field, but the green flag is going to stay out. Oh, such a tough break for Zudima. He's going to have to work his way back up front. Hopefully that car is not hurt. Billy Wise still in third, but now he's got Andrew Smith on his tail. And Andrew Smith currently up 5 positions from where he started, currently running in the 4th spot. Travis Zudima is making moves in the back of the field. He got by Steven Keeper. Now he's on Brian Lowhead's tail, trying to figure out how to run that high side. Not able to get around Lowhead there in 3 and 4. There might be something wrong with that car, because it doesn't look like he's having the greatest time working his way back up here. But at the same time, this is a very fast, very momentum track, so when you lose that momentum, it takes you a little while to get back in the swing of things. A couple very different lines between these drivers here. Zudima is going to try to make a move on the outside coming out of 4. Looks like he's going to get it done going into turn number 1. And that's going to leave Lowhead on the inside for Kiefer. And Lowhead just going to get up out of the way. Billy Wise still under fire from Andrew Smith. And Tom Johnson makes a massive mistake. Gets into the wall coming out of turn 4. That's going to let Billy Wise, Andrew Smith, and now Chris Roberge catch up to him. And I wonder how much damage is on Tom Johnson's car, because Billy Wise is really trying to make the move now. Koneman just kind of squeaking away, counting the laps down. He's definitely has enough distance between him and the field to where he can somewhat relax. 1.7 seconds a gap now back to Tom Johnson. And these other three drivers, Billy Wise, Andrew Smith, and Chris Roberge, trying to climb back up. He's back where he started. But this track, very, very tough to pass on as you see he tries to make a move, but there's just nowhere to go. Really need to get a fabulous run on one of these drivers to be able to make it stick, especially on the outside of this track. It's so easy to wash up into the unrubbered spot and lose some grip, and all of a sudden you're losing time instead of gaining time being on that outside. But at the same time, you got to slow down so much to try to go to the inside that the momentum of the outside kind of holds you. So you really are put in a pickle here when you're racing a racetrack where the fast line is in the middle of the track. Billy Wise losing a little bit of ground to Tom Johnson. Koneman has now got over 2 seconds over top of Johnson. Johnson really needs to just kind of hold on to this second position and get them points, and hope that Koneman gets tangled up in the lap car, gets loose coming out of a corner, and gets into the wall, because that 23 machine is really performing and doing what he needs to do tonight. Don Koneman just doing it a little bit better as he crosses the stripe. We are on lap number 40. And the battle stacking up behind. Andrew Smith gets into Wise and then gets into Roberge, and Roberge just constantly pounds him. Not sure what was going on there with Chris Roberge. Really didn't want to go to the back again, but let's take a look at what caused that caution. '87 just gets into the 32, and Roberge has nowhere to go and just keeps going. Don Koneman out front, fastest lap, a 19.296, compared to Tom Johnson there in second place with a 19.346, 1/10 of a second faster for Koneman, and it definitely shows on the racetrack. We were so close to reaching the halfway point, but when the battle's that close, sometimes contact is made, and I believe Billy Wise got the worst of it. Travis Zunema now in the number 90 machine, being shown in third position. And his fastest lap is a 19.286, so he is on par with Don Koneman for speed. So if he can get his car past Tom Johnson, he might be battling with Koneman for a win here tonight. I believe the lights are going to go off on the pace car this time. They do. We're going to get them back 2 by 2. Koneman out front, Tom Johnson, Travis Zudema, Chris Roberge, and Stephen Kiefer up in the top 5 at the moment. Billy Wise there in 6th. After working his way from 3rd, hopefully that spin didn't do too much damage. And Koneman's on the loud pedal. We're back racing. 45 laps complete. 55 more laps to go here at Thompson for round number 18. Zudema trying to hold that inside against Tom Johnson. He really wants that second place spot, but the inside's hard to do. You got to slow down a lot to get around the inside. Looks like Tom Johnson is going to prevail on the outside. Zudema going to move up. Billy Wise all over Chris Roberge's tail. That 32 machine fairly quick. But Zudema and Johnson pulling away so far. This is the battle for second position. Zudema just waiting to make a move. He goes to the high side to try to get a good cut down, and he loses about a car length over top of Tom Johnson on that one. Johnson sends it in wide through 3 and 4. This is going to allow Travis Zudema to look down to the inside, but not anything doing down the front stretch. Can Zudema get up to that second position? Looks like Johnson is going to hold him off for a little while. Brian Lowhead in a little bit of a battle at the moment with Johnny Berardi. Berardi just got by. And now Johnson still with Zudema all over his tail. And there, where did Zudema go? Zudema's down. He's backwards. Oh man, what happened to Travis Zudema? He's almost gonna go a lap down. And there it is, he gets into the turn 4 wall. Oh, and then he gets to the inside wall too. That is really tough. Oh man. That's gotta hurt for Zudema. I'm sure he's gonna have to go to the pit lane as he does. I'm sure he's gonna be hoping for a caution and trying to get some laps back. Up front now, Chris Roberge under pressure from Billy Wise for 3rd position. And Stephen Kiefer in that number 22 machine starting to lurk behind these two. As you battle, you start to slow down a little bit. And that allows the drivers behind you to catch up. Kiefer right there running 5th in that 22 machine. And Don Koneman starting to skate away again. 1.6 seconds the gap. And ever climbing for that number 97 machine. Koneman says he is very good in these modifieds, but he hasn't driven the late model stock yet. Some of these other drivers have been doing some testing, so Koneman will hop into the late model stock for the first time for race number 1 of season 2 of the 2023 Simability Racing League season. And we'll see what that 97 can do in a brand new race car. At the moment, Tom Johnson not able to pull away too much from this rest of the pack. But Billy Wise all over the tail of Chris Roberge. He looks to the inside, but it's not going to do. You got to slow down way too much when you go to the inside there, and you lose a lot of ground. Lost almost 0.4 of a second there. That's a shame, because now Roberts can look away from his mirror and focus out in front of him on Tom Johnson, who's currently in second place. Koneman over 2 seconds away already. 60 laps complete. 40 more laps to go here in Thompson. Koneman out front. Tom Johnson in second. And Chris Roberge currently running in third. 2 drivers currently laps down. And that is Thomas Wise and Travis Zudema. And the caution comes out one more time. Looks like Brian Lowhead and Travis Zudema getting together. Lowhead gets in the grass, gets into Wise, and then comes down in front of Zudema and hits that 90 machine. I'm sure Travis Zudema is not happy about that at all. But this is the time I would expect to see leaders come down for tires. If they're going to come get tires, if anybody's going to come get tires, I would suspect it's going to be this next lap. And honestly, if it were me, I probably would get some tires just to see what we could do. It is a very fast track. New rubber can always help you. So we'll see what happens. See if anybody actually gets some tires here. And it doesn't look like anybody is coming down pit lane whatsoever. So no, everybody's going to stay out. Everybody's going to stay behind. Don Koneman in the 97 machine, putting on a modified driving clinic here. Don't forget, make sure you join us next week. Next week is going to be a fantastic race in Lakeland. Lakeland is a track that no longer exists, and it was formerly known as USA Speedway there, and it is a very cool racetrack. It's one of the first racetracks you race on when you come to iRacing, and it's kind of like Martinsville, only a lot faster, a little bit more banking, and it's definitely a lot of fun. You got to go slower through the corners, faster down the straights, and it always leaves for some really awesome racing. And so far in the lineup, 35 laps to go. Don Koneman out front, Tom Johnson second, Chris Roberge in the 98 machine is third. Billy Wise in his Action Sports Foundation number 32 is in fourth, and Stephen Kiefer in that 22 machine down a few spots from where he started, but putting in a good run so far anyways. Lights are off on the pace car. We're going to go racing one more time, see if we can get her in. It's all going to be on that man, the number 97, Don Koneman. He's going to lead them to the stripe. And he's not leaving much room behind the pace car this time. Green flag's out. He hits the gas. Chris Roberge falling back. Billy Wise takes a move on the outside. What a veteran move by Billy Wise in the 32 machine to get around Chris Roberge. That was for third position. Oh, and Tom Johnson gets into the wall. And no caution flag. Let's see what happened there. Who got into him? Was it Billy Wise? Yeah, Billy Wise sent him down to the inside. Looks like the wall just turned him. Oh, that's such a tough break for Tom Johnson. That is not what the 23 machine needed for his race. He's about to go another lap, at least a lap down there by Koneman. And with less than 30 laps to go in this race, that is not going to help his championship hopes. And that might actually seal the deal for Don Koneman to win the championship. Right there, Tom Johnson having a really tough break. He's now down in 7th position. That means he only scored 4 points to Koneman's 10. Plus, I don't believe Koneman's gotten into anything, so he might have the no incidents point. And that's just gonna possibly seal the deal for Don Koneman. With 26 laps to go, he's out front. Chris Roberge now in second with Billy Wise on the 32 machine running in third. Looks like Roberge loses a little bit of speed, and now Wise all over him. Both taking two totally different lines, and the one that Billy's taking there into the corner is definitely not helping him. Not sure if that's like an emergency move or what that was, but we've seen him do it a couple times and he's definitely lost some ground. We've seen a couple other drivers do it too, so maybe it's just that line is actually really that bad. But now a little battle heating up out back. Andrew Smith trying to work his way around Johnny Berardi, but Stephen Kiefer is there with Travis Zudema and trying to get a lap back, and Tom Johnson somehow got his lap back. So I am not sure. Oh no, it's showing actually now. Lap down, there it is. Tom Johnson and Travis Zudema, those two are actually battling for position there. But it is definitely shaking things up in the back of the field as you see the lap drivers battling with non-lap drivers. And look at that, number 99 machine, Johnny Berardi, up to 5th position, trying to hold off Andrew Smith in the number 87 machine. Fantastic run for Johnny Berardi this afternoon. And that is just a whole mess of cars. Stephen Kiefer dives down to the inside of the 90. Not sure if he's gonna regret that or not. Those two trying to actually battle for position. That is a battle for 7th spot. And Zudema's going to take the inside. Can he hold on? It's going to be a drag race down the straightaway. Zudema gets a little bit loose, but he's still got the inside. He gets into Johnson. He goes to the inside. Looks like Kiefer also down to the inside. And now the caution flag flies. Lap number 83. Caution flag number 4. And here is the incident that it occurred with. Yeah, it looks like Zudema gets into the 23 going into the corner. He holds his brakes. But something happened with Stephen Kiefer as well. What happened with Kiefer? Oh, he must have gotten to Zudema and gotten to the wall, and that sent him sideways, and a sideways car in front of traffic will definitely cause a caution flag. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Caution flag number 4 on the day. And we will be going back racing with just over 20 laps to go. Don Koneman out front, Chris Robert second, Billy Wise third, Johnny Berardi up to 4th, and Andrew Smith in 5th. Will we get any takers to pit road? I do not see any takers to pit road, so it looks like everybody is going to stay out on the racetrack. Track position seems to be fairly key here. But now, Chris Roberts in the number 98 machine is back up behind Don Koneman in second place. Can that 98 turn the race around? Oh, and isn't that a sight to see right there? The number 99 machine. Johnny Berardi currently running in 4th position in that 99. Definitely a race of attrition, and Berardi has kept himself clean all night, issue-free all night. And it's proving itself. He is up in 4th. Tom Johnson in the 23 machine in the pits. Just want to make note, this is round number 18. There's only been one race that this 23 has not finished inside the top 5. And I have a feeling that tonight is going to be race number 2. Very, very tough break for Tom Johnson. Either way, lights are off on the pace car. We're going to go back racing next time by 89 laps complete. That means we are going to have 11 laps to go. And it's going to be a show. It's all going to be on that number 97 machine. And he goes in the middle of turn 3. Definitely throws everybody off. Billy Wise going to look down to the inside of Chris Roberts for second. If he can get back to the outside, Roberts throws it way wide in that 98 machine. Billy Wise goes up. They're not going to touch. And Billy's going to lose that spot in that 32. That 98 is sending it in really, really hard. Don Koneman comes across the stripe. 10 laps to go. And Johnny Berardi has fallen back a couple spots. Tom Johnson has gotten up in front of him. And it looks like Andrew Smith really working on him as well. Travis Zunema trying to work his way up through the field. All these drivers, except for Thomas Wise in the 3, have gotten back on the lead lap. So everybody here battling for position with 10 laps to go. And Chris Roberts still has got a mirror full of Billy Wise. And Don Koneman is put over a second, almost a second and a half over top of these guys in the last 3 laps. So some pretty incredible driving by that number 97 machine. Possibly going to snag the championship here tonight. But actually, Tom Johnson's got himself back up into 4th position. So salvaging some points here for Johnson tonight. He'd love to get by that 32 machine, but not very many more laps to go. Everybody's more single filed out now, and Roberts has been able to pull away from Billy Wise at least half a second at the moment. Andrew Smith doing his best to try to get around Johnny Berardi. This is a battle for the top 5. Tom Johnson must have heard my top 5 comment, and he did everything he could to get back up in the top 5. Berardi almost cuts off Smith. Smith has to get out of the gas. This could be a wreck in the making if they're not careful. Look at Don Conan in that 97 all the way out front. Almost still a second and a half over top of Chris Robert's. 3 more laps to go. Koneman in a league of his own. Chris Robert's there in second. Billy Wise in third. And Tom Johnson's still there in that 23 machine in 4th position. Looks like Travis Zudema has left the race. So I'm not sure what happened to the 90 machine. But the white flag comes out for Koneman. Andrew Smith and Johnny Berardi battle. Andrew Smith loses it on the final lap. But coming out of turn number 4, checkered flag in the air for Don Koneman. Chris Roberge comes home second. And Billy Wise gonna come home in 3rd position. What a fantastic finish. Andrew Smith loses a few spots. Johnny Berardi is going to take home the most positions gained point for having gained 5 positions in the race and finishing in the top 5. So great run for that number 99 machine. And we'll see what we can do about getting our top 3 to join us up here in the broadcast booth in just a moment. I want to thank you for watching the race here on the JP Broadcasting Network. If it's your first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let us know that you like the video by hitting that like button. And as always, hit that notification bell so that way you know when awesome races like this go live when they're sent right to your phone. It works pretty awesome. Take a look at your results for round number 18. All right, and looks like we've got our drivers rounded up, and we're gonna start with someone who we've seen a few times in this spot, the number 32 machine of Billy Wise. Billy, take us through your race. It was fast-paced. There's a few cautions, and you found yourself in the middle of one of them at the beginning of the race. How hard was Thompson this evening?
Thompson is very tough, man. We are really surprised to even be here. We sucked in practice Monday night. We sucked in practice pre-race. And so we weren't going to qualify and just going to start in the back and just kind of ride around and feel it out. You know what I mean? And yeah, next thing you know, boom, we're 3rd, 4th, like running top 5 all race. And so it was tough. Thompson, man, it's a tough track with these cars. Those Nerf bars just want to reach out and grab that wall, man.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few drivers this evening actually get into the wall. Tom Johnson, our defending champion, got into the wall. Travis Zudema got into the wall. You got into the wall. Kiefer got into the wall. It really does jump up and bite you coming up out of those turns. It kind of reminds you of turn 4 at Darlington. It's all of a sudden it's just there. Now, you had a fantastic battle with, I believe it was Andrew Smith there for a minute, and Tom Johnson. What kind of caliber drivers are you racing with compared to yourself? Well, a lot of these guys, you know, they race with sim equipment that's been modified by Simability. I mean, what all are you racing against, and what do you have to expect coming into a race racing with people who use sim equipment like that?
Yeah, Tom Johnson, Andrew, man, Brian Lowhead, this adaptive equipment, these are top-notch drivers, I think, because these guys can race against the best of them in official racing, and they can race really good, man, with able-bodied people. But it's kind of cool when you get a group of us that we're all using adaptive equipment. So it's kind of like, you know, you going to the racetrack racing against able-bodied people. We're kind of the same way when we look at that as each other, you know, racing each other as disabled and using different controls. Man, these drivers are top notch. That's all I gotta say, man. I'm lucky to get a top 5. Top 3 is awesome.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race today. And I mean, a bunch of screwballs. For a minute there, we thought Tom Johnson was going to finish 7th or 8th, and he thought he was going to score his second missed top 5 of the season. And all of a sudden, there he is back in 4th place at the times right. So Mr. Consistency is definitely working. But I mean, I think half the field went from the front to the back to the front, back to the back, all over the place this race. What do you do when it's that crazy where the field is just constantly turning over and different drivers are running around you? Do you like kind of get the sense that it's a kind of a harder race because you're not so used to racing around the certain drivers that you'd be racing around as, like I said, the field turns over?
Definitely. Because, I mean, lately we've been kind of a smaller field, so we definitely know who we're racing against, and it's so much fun because, like you say, you know, some weeks I'm racing against Tom and Andrew and like Travis, the same guys every week. But when you do get to line up with my dad and Johnny and Brian and just swap those positions back and forth, it's a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to go back and watch the broadcast.
Yeah, it definitely was a show to see. Who do you got to thank for your 3rd place finish tonight here at Thompson?
We got to thank Action Sports Foundation, of course, you know, Glenn Sidman. So much to him to allow us to run this league under his brand is awesome because half of us use his brand, and, you know, he builds amazing shit. So, yeah. That's about it. I appreciate your broadcast, man. It was so much fun to go back and watch, and all the drivers love it. And so thank you to you too, brother.
For sure. Well, thank you there, Billy Wise. 2 more races left in the season. You are in a crucial spot battling for, I believe it was 4th, 5th, and 6th on the boards, and a 3rd place finish tonight is definitely going to help you in that battle. So good luck in the last 2 races, and we hope to see you up here in the broadcast booth once again before the season's over.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much, man.
Billy Wise, your 3rd place finisher. Now we're going to bring up the number 98 machine. He's had somewhat a rough night. You went to the front and to the back and back to the front. Take us through your night there, Chris.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get my tires warmed up, and I guess it's not warm enough to get a good grip. So I kind of lost it on that turn there. Yeah, that was pretty much all. And then I tried to avoid wrecks, but it was too late when they wrecked right in front of me, so I couldn't stop on time. The track is kind of awkward for me, so, but I'm at second is pretty good for me.
Now on that one last restart, Billy Wise almost had you on the inside. Be honest with me. How hard did you have to push that car on the outside to maintain that second position?
Well, the outside is actually faster than the inside because they got really slowed down. Because the inside are really harder on their tires and all that stuff. So I knew I will have a chance to go up there and be ahead of Bailey was.
So what happened to you there at the beginning of the race? It looked like you kept finding trouble until the about halfway through the race. And does that really put a damper on your drive and your motivation to get to the front, or does that amp you up when you just can't get by people? Because it looked like, with being a momentum track, it looked like you were kind of struggling getting through the field there for a moment.
Yeah, it's just traffic's kind of a little slower because we're all want to go up a high line, so you can't really pass on this track. It's very hard to pass, and you just gotta take your time, let them make the mistakes because that turn 4, there is, and turn 2 is exit turn. Those two are really difficulty because that's when the most people hit the wall hard.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen that happen quite a few times tonight. With 2 races left in the season, you're currently 3rd place in the point standings and slowly tracking down Tom Johnson in the number 23. Do you think you got what it takes to be able to maybe win the next race or two and possibly swipe that 2nd spot from the 23? Or are you just more concentrated on trying to get some wins over the next 2 races?
I'll see what happens here. It's hard to say what's going to happen. Some people could have good luck in racing. Some people could have bad luck. It's hard. It's the hardest thing to think of that right now. So see what race by race. See what happens.
For sure. Who do you got to thank for your awesome finish tonight?
Simability Racing here. They're doing a very good job putting all this together for everybody. Thanks for my other league that I was in, Chop Stop Racing League I'm in. I'm doing really well there too. Big thanks to the broadcast here. Thank you there. And a big support from my the family of our godson there and all that stuff. And big huge support from my wife.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Robert's good luck on the rest of the season. Only 2 more races left to go. And I believe, I cannot fully confirm at the moment, but it is quite possible that this next man has clinched the Season 1 championship here in 2023. Don Koneman, victorious in the number 97. Don, take us through your race. You were incredibly dominant. How did your race go for you?
No complaints at all. We nailed every restart to get out in front and get back up into that top line, which was our preferred line, and car was on rails. So we just tried to get 2 seconds ahead of him and maintain that.
Now, this track being a 2-lined racetrack, is that why we saw such I don't want to say crazy, but you really changed up your starting position every time? Were you at all worried about someone in that high lane possibly getting in front of you and putting you back into the traffic?
Yes, definitely. That's why I was changing my restart zones, because I wanted to get the jump out there so I wouldn't be shuffled back on the inside.
Well, definitely some skills to learn for these other drivers if they can get by you on a restart. Travis Unema unfortunately had a pretty bad accident and did not end up even finishing the race. And Tom Johnson almost missed out on a top 5, but came back in clinch. So Tom Johnson scored quite a few less points than you today. I'm pretty sure you didn't hit anything, so I think you're still at that 0 incident point as well. If you were to take the championship now, are you gonna continue to try to win these last 2 races, or are you gonna more concentrate on trying to race with the drivers there in the back of the pack?
I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. Maybe we'll sit out on qualifying. Maybe we won't. We'll figure it out.
Sitting out on qualifying, I don't think we've ever seen that 97 machine do that. You had a fantastic drive and a fantastic win tonight, Don. Who do you got to thank?
Swagger in as usual. Rockstar here for broadcasting it. Billy Weiss for putting everything together, and all the drivers that show up every week to put on a show.
And a show you guys definitely put on. Congratulations, Don. 2 more races left in the season. What are you thinking about that late model stock for next season?
I'm really excited about it.
And very few words from the winner of your race. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Don Coneman, driver of the number 97 Swagger in, your winner this evening. And he did it in fantastic style. From everybody here at JP Broadcasting, we want to thank you for coming out here and watching the race with us. As always, it was a blast being here with you. And until next time, we will see you guys later.